What if true peace isn't found in control, but in surrender? Have you ever noticed that the more we cling, the more we suffer? And could a simple song lyric hold the key to inner freedom? When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, "Let it be." These unforgettable lines from the Beatles aren't just poetic, they echo a timeless truth, a truth that resonates deeply with the heart of Buddhist philosophy. But what does it really mean to let it be? Is it passive acceptance? Or is there something more profound hidden in those three simple words? Today, we journey into the wisdom of Buddhism to uncover what "let it be" truly invites us to do. We'll explore how this phrase, gentle yet powerful, reflects the essence of Buddhist teachings, and how embracing it can gently transform our relationship with suffering, pain, and ultimately, life itself. Let's begin at the root of all this, understanding suffering and its causes. Buddhism starts with a startling yet universally relatable truth. Life contains suffering. No matter who we are, where we come from, or how carefully we plan our lives, we all encounter hardship. We lose people we love. We fail. We fall. The Buddha, over 2,500 years ago, saw this clearly and offered a path not to avoid suffering, but to face it with clarity, wisdom, and compassion. That path begins with the Four Noble Truths, the bedrock of Buddhist thought. The first noble truth is simple and direct. Suffering exists. Whether it's the dull ache of loneliness or the sharp sting of betrayal, none of us is spared. But this truth is not meant to be bleak. It's meant to awaken us. Because Buddhism doesn't stop at recognizing pain. It pushes us to ask why we suffer. The second noble truth offers the answer. Suffering has a cause, and that cause, the Buddha taught, is attachment, our deep craving and clinging. We attach to people, to possessions, to status, to how things should be. We believe these things will make us happy, but all of them, yes, every single one, are impermanent. So when we try to hold on to something fleeting, we suffer the moment it slips away. Think for a moment. When have you felt your deepest sorrow? Was it the end of a relationship? The passing of someone dear? A dream that shattered before it could bloom? Often the pain isn't only in the event, it's in our refusal to let go. We replay what happened, we long for what was, we resist what is. That resistance deepens the wound. Buddhism gently shows us another way. It doesn't ask us to suppress our pain or ignore it. Instead, it invites us to understand it and to release it. That understanding leads us to the third and fourth noble truths. There is a way to end suffering, and that way is the Eightfold Path, a practical guide that helps us live with mindfulness, ethical awareness, and inner discipline. But before we can walk that path, we must first recognize where we're standing. Imagine yourself in a pitch-black room. Struggling against the darkness changes nothing, but the moment you flip on the light, everything becomes visible. That light is awareness, and recognizing our suffering is the first flicker of that illumination. Only when we see clearly can we begin to move forward. So how does this connect to the song? Let it be. Because in moments of chaos, when life feels overwhelming, wisdom often whispers, not in a shout, but in a soft, steady voice. Accept what is. Release what was. Trust what will come. And isn't that exactly what Buddhism teaches? Rather than fight reality, we face it. Instead of grasping tightly, we open our hands. When we begin to understand the roots of our suffering, we loosen the grip that keeps us stuck, and the first breeze of liberation begins to blow. And now, with this foundation of awareness, we take our next step into the path that leads us beyond suffering. Having uncovered how suffering begins with resistance and clinging, let's now turn to its silent partner, impermanence, the ever-changing nature of life that we so often struggle against. If there is one truth about existence that no one can escape, it's this: everything changes. The seasons shift, the leaves fall, friends drift apart, new people enter our lives while others quietly exit. Thoughts rise, emotions crash, and nothing stays still for long. Our entire reality flows like a river, never pausing, never repeating in quite the same way. Yet even though we know this deep down, we resist it. We hold tightly to happy moments, cling to relationships, and even attach ourselves to the version of who we think we are, hoping all of it will stay the same. But when they inevitably change, when that version of life slips away, we suffer. In Buddhism, this truth is called anicca, impermanence. It isn't a poetic metaphor, it's a core reality. Everything you see, feel, touch, and know is in a constant state of change. The tree that offers shade today will one day return to the earth. The joy that fills your heart this morning may turn into sorrow by evening. Even your own body, your breath, your bones, your skin is aging and transforming in every passing moment. So why is something so natural, so unavoidable, so difficult for us to accept? Because at our core, we crave permanence. We seek control. We build routines and surround ourselves with familiar things, believing they will protect us from change. But the moment something shifts, when life doesn't go according to plan, we feel as if the very ground beneath our feet is slipping away. A breakup, a job loss, aging, unexpected illness. Suddenly, we feel unmoored. The Buddha compared life to a river, constantly flowing. And yet, we try to grasp the water with our hands. No matter how tightly we squeeze, it slips through our fingers. The more we struggle against the current, the more exhausted we become. But if we learn to float, to let the river carry us, we discover something surprising: peace. This is exactly why the phrase "let it be" aligns so beautifully with Buddhist wisdom. The song doesn't urge us to change the world or force reality into our shape. It gently reminds us, accept the flow. Don't fight it, don't fear it, just be with it. Rather than mourning what is lost, we can choose to cherish what was. Rather than bracing against the unknown, we can open our hearts to the possibility of what comes next. And here lies one of Buddhism's most freeing insights. Impermanence isn't our enemy, it's our greatest teacher. If everything lasted forever, nothing would ever grow. Nothing would evolve. No moment would carry meaning. The fleeting nature of life is what makes it so incredibly beautiful. A sunset takes your breath away because you know it will vanish. A song moves your soul because it must end. A heartfelt conversation with someone you love is precious precisely because time is limited. If nothing ever changed, would we even notice the beauty around us? So how do we live with this truth in our daily lives? When faced with change, instead of resisting it, ask yourself, what is this moment teaching me? When joy finds you, savor it completely, because it won't last, and that's what makes it radiant. When loss visits your life, remember, nothing truly vanishes. It transforms. The ones we love never leave us completely. They live on through our stories, our memories, and the ways they shaped our hearts. Embracing impermanence doesn't mean giving up. It means letting go of fear, of illusion, of resistance. It means waking up to now, to this breath, this heartbeat, this exact moment. And as we continue, we'll explore a question that often follows. Does letting go of attachment mean becoming cold or indifferent? As we've just seen, impermanence makes life precious. But to fully embrace that truth, we must also loosen the grip of attachment, the very thing that keeps us locked in fear, control, and suffering. So what does it really mean to practice non-attachment? If impermanence is the nature of life, then clinging, holding tightly to people, things, or even ideas inevitably leads to pain. We crave stability. We hope relationships, material things, and even our personal beliefs will remain unchanged. But the moment they shift, and they always do, we feel betrayed by reality itself. This is why non-attachment becomes such a vital practice in Buddhism, yet it is often misunderstood. Some imagine it means becoming cold or disconnected, living without passion, love, or longing. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Non-attachment is not about rejecting life. It's about stepping fully into it, with open arms but not clenched fists. It means loving deeply without trying to possess, working with purpose without becoming consumed, enjoying the present moment without fearing its end. In essence, non-attachment is the art of holding life gently. But why do we cling so hard in the first place? Because the mind craves control. We believe that if we grip tightly enough onto a person, a job, a belief, or even an identity, we can avoid pain or prevent loss. That's why endings frighten us so deeply. Whether it's the end of a chapter, a relationship, or even our own life, we resist it. Think back to a time when you couldn't let go. Maybe it was a job that drained your joy, a relationship that no longer nurtured you, or a version of yourself that you had outgrown. The more you held on, the heavier it became. And yet, letting go felt terrifying, like stepping into the unknown without a map. This is where Buddhism gently shifts our perspective. Non-attachment is not about losing, it's about liberating. When we stop clinging, we allow life to move freely. We begin to see things clearly, not through filters of fear or desire, but just as they are. Now, let's look at another subtle reason we suffer: the illusion of ownership. We tend to believe that we own things, our homes, our possessions, our achievements, even our relationships. But in truth, we own nothing. Everything in our lives is borrowed, passing through our hands for a brief moment in time. The house you live in today? One day, it will belong to someone else. The clothes you wear, the phone in your hand, even the body you inhabit. They're all temporary. And the people we love, they are not ours to keep. They walk beside us by choice, not by possession. When this truth settles in, something remarkable happens. We stop trying to control others and begin to cherish them. We stop obsessing over wealth and begin to use it wisely. We stop resisting change and begin to welcome it as a natural rhythm of life. Nowhere is this more powerful than in love. Love, when mixed with attachment, can become something possessive, even fearful. We worry about losing the people we love, so we try to hold on tighter. We expect them to meet our needs, behave a certain way, stay the same forever. But that's not love, that's control. True love, as the Buddhist teacher Thich Nhat Hanh once said, is this: you must love in such a way that the person you love feels free. To love with non-attachment is to love without expectation, without fear, without the urge to possess. It's not about loving less, it's about loving more wisely. And as we move forward, let's take this insight deeper, into how the Eightfold Path offers practical ways to live with this balance of love and freedom. As we discovered earlier, real love allows space for growth, for change, for freedom. And the more gently we hold it, the more it flourishes. Practicing non-attachment in love means letting people be who they are, instead of trying to shape them into who we think they should be. It means embracing each shared moment, not with fear of losing it, but with deep appreciation that it's happening at all. Picture this. A bird lands softly in your open palm. If you try to grip it, it will flutter and flee, desperate to escape. But if you keep your hand relaxed, offering a safe place without pressure, it may stay a while, perhaps even longer than you expected. Love is like that bird. The more tightly we try to hold it, the more it resists. But the more gently we release control, the more it naturally deepens. So how do we apply non-attachment in our everyday lives? With material things, enjoy what you have, but don't let those things define who you are. Possessions can bring comfort or joy, but they are not who you are. Use what you have, but don't let yourself be used by your need to have more. With people, love with your whole heart, but without expecting permanence. Relationships evolve, people grow, some stay, others go. Cherish the time you have with someone, knowing that even the most beautiful connections are subject to change. With success and failure, give your best, work with integrity, show up fully, but don't tie your worth to the outcome. Whether you achieve a goal or fall short, neither defines your value. Every win and every loss is temporary, just like every season. With your thoughts and emotions, let them come and go like clouds across the sky. Observe them without clinging. You are not your anger, your joy, or your sadness. You are the calm awareness watching it all pass through. Now, practicing non-attachment doesn't mean becoming distant or uncaring. It doesn't mean living a life of detachment or cold indifference. Quite the opposite, it means we stop suffering unnecessarily. We no longer resist the natural rhythm of life. We stop grasping and start flowing. Here is where Let It Be and Buddhist wisdom meet in perfect harmony. The song doesn't command us to fix, control, or force life to fit our preferences. It doesn't say, make it be, or hold on tightly. It simply says, let it be. This is the heart of non-attachment. When life brings pain, we acknowledge it rather than push it away. When life changes, we adjust rather than resist. When we love, we appreciate rather than cling. And in doing so, we don't become less human. We become more alive. We connect more deeply. We love more purely. And we experience a peace that doesn't depend on perfect circumstances. So, what else helps us live this way? As we move forward, let's explore another essential quality on the path to inner freedom: patience, and the quiet strength of accepting life's timing, even when things don't go as planned. Previously, we explored the liberating power of letting go and how releasing resistance opens the door to peace. Now let's take a closer look at how patience and acceptance work hand in hand with that wisdom. When frustration builds up inside us, what's really happening beneath the surface? It's often not the situation itself that causes our suffering. It's our desire for things to be different. That tight knot of impatience, that restless feeling in your chest, comes from the mind declaring, "This moment isn't enough. The next one will be better." But when we live this way, constantly racing toward the future, we're never truly present. We're always postponing peace, delaying joy, and chasing a version of happiness that seems forever just out of reach. Acceptance, the path to freedom. One of the most profound insights in Buddhism is that suffering doesn't come from events themselves. It comes from our resistance to them. When we push against reality, when we refuse to accept what is, we create tension and conflict within ourselves. But the moment we choose to accept what's happening, even if it's not ideal, we create the space for peace to emerge. Now, this doesn't mean giving up or stopping our efforts to improve. It simply means that instead of fighting reality, we begin to cooperate with it. We move from a stance of resistance to one of resilience. Take something as ordinary as waiting in a long line. You have two choices. 1. Resist. You check your phone over and over, roll your eyes, grumble silently. But does that make the line move any faster? Of course not. It only intensifies your suffering. 2. Accept. Take a deep breath. Look around. Feel your feet on the ground. Perhaps even use that time to pause and reflect. The line doesn't move any faster, but your experience becomes lighter. Now, extend that to life's bigger challenges. A postponed goal, a troubled relationship, or emotional pain that lingers. The more we resist, the heavier it feels. But when we begin to accept the situation, not in defeat, but in wisdom, we free ourselves from unnecessary mental struggle. Patience in personal growth. One of the most difficult places to practice patience is within ourselves. We all want to grow. We want to heal, transform, and become better. But deep change doesn't happen overnight. A person facing fear can't just snap their fingers and become fearless. A beginner in meditation won't find instant peace the first time they close their eyes. Someone healing from grief or trauma can't simply move on because the calendar says it's time. True transformation is like the slow blooming of a tree. It begins as a seed buried in the dark soil. Slowly, silently, it grows, root by root, leaf by leaf. Rushing only leads to frustration and disappointment. Instead of forcing results, we can learn to trust the timing of growth. Every challenge, every delay has its role to play. Patience isn't passive. It's a quiet, courageous trust in the process. Let it be, and the wisdom of patience. The song Let It Be doesn't urge us to fix everything right away. It doesn't scream, solve it now, or make it happen. Instead, it gently offers a timeless truth. There will be an answer. Let it be. This beautifully mirrors Buddhist wisdom. Sometimes, the most skillful thing we can do is pause. Stop fighting. Allow life to unfold without interference. Not every problem needs a quick fix. Not every emotion needs to be controlled. When we let go of urgency, clarity, and wisdom can naturally arise. Practical ways to cultivate patience and acceptance. Breathe. When you feel tension rising, take slow, mindful breaths. Inhale, exhale. This simple act soothes your nervous system and creates mental space. Shift your perspective. Instead of seeing a delay as a setback, see it as a chance to practice calmness. Delays aren't enemies. They can be unexpected teachers. Observe without reacting. The next time impatience flares up, notice it without feeding it. That simple awareness can interrupt the cycle of reactivity. Release rigid timelines. Set goals, but don't attach your happiness to them arriving on schedule. Life unfolds according to its own rhythm, just as a flower blooms when the season is right. And with that understanding in place, we turn next to another quiet but powerful practice, mindfulness, and how it deepens our connection with each moment of life. Once we stop rushing and learn to trust life's timing, something beautiful happens. we begin to settle into the natural rhythm of existence. With patience, we stop pushing the river and instead learn to flow with it. We stop racing through the present moment and begin to live fully within it. Now, let's explore the very heart of being present. Mindfulness, the gentle, powerful ability to experience each moment as it is, without resistance, without grasping. The power of mindfulness. If patience and acceptance help us stop resisting life, mindfulness teaches us how to fully experience it. Think about it. How much of your life is spent somewhere else in your mind? We replay past conversations, regret old decisions, or worry about what's coming tomorrow. Sometimes we're so distracted that we forget to taste our food, truly listen to a loved one, or feel the breeze on our skin. But peace, clarity, and genuine wisdom don't live in the past or the future. They live right here, in this moment. That's why Buddhism places such a deep emphasis on mindfulness, the art of being fully present. The mind's endless chatter. Have you ever caught yourself physically in one place but mentally 1,000 miles away? You're eating dinner, but you're already thinking about tomorrow's to-do list. You're listening to someone talk, but instead of hearing them, you're planning your reply. You're walking outside, but instead of feeling the sun or noticing the colors around you, your mind is lost in a memory or a worry. This mental noise is constant, and it keeps us disconnected from life. We end up living in our heads instead of in the actual world unfolding around us. When those thoughts are filled with fear, judgment, or regret, we suffer, often without even realizing why. Mindfulness, the antidote. Mindfulness is the gentle practice of coming back to now. It means noticing what's happening inside and out without judgment. It means tasting your food, really listening when someone speaks, feeling your breath rise and fall. When we are mindful, we re-engage with life. We stop running and start experiencing. Why is mindfulness so transformative? Mindfulness changes our relationship with life in 3 powerful ways. 1, it breaks the cycle of automatic reactions. Instead of instantly reacting when things go wrong, mindfulness gives us a pause, a space where we can choose how to respond with clarity and wisdom. 2, it softens suffering. When we stop fighting what we feel, anger, sadness, even fear, we begin to see these emotions as passing visitors. We don't have to be ruled by them. 3, it deepens appreciation. Ordinary moments become extraordinary when we're truly present. The taste of tea, a kind glance, the sound of the wind, suddenly they carry beauty we often miss. Mindfulness in everyday life. Many people think mindfulness is something reserved for meditation cushions or silent retreats. But true mindfulness is a way of living, not just a practice. You can bring it into every moment of your day. Eating mindfully. Instead of rushing, notice the flavors, textures, and aromas in each bite. Walking mindfully. Feel the contact of your feet on the ground. Sense the movement of your body. Let your breath anchor you. Listening mindfully. When someone speaks, give them your full attention. Listen not just to the words, but to the feelings behind them. Breathing mindfully. Take a slow breath. Feel the air enter your nose, fill your lungs, and gently leave your body. This simple act can return you to the present in an instant. Mindfulness isn't about changing your life, it's about finally experiencing the life you already have. Let It Be and the wisdom of mindfulness. The lyrics of Let It Be carry a quiet but profound message. They don't urge us to fix everything or overanalyze each moment. They don't tell us to control the outcome. They simply whisper, "Let it be." And isn't that the invitation of mindfulness too? To meet each moment, not with resistance, but with gentle presence. As we move forward, we'll explore how this presence becomes even deeper when combined with one more essential ingredient: compassion, for ourselves and for others. In the last chapter, we explored how mindfulness frees us from resistance, bringing us into full contact with the present moment. When we stop being consumed by thoughts of the past or anxieties about the future, we begin to experience life with clarity, calm, and peace. Mindfulness teaches us an essential truth. The past is already gone. We cannot change it. The future is not yet here. We cannot control it. The present is all we truly have, and it is enough. By learning to be here now, we free ourselves from the endless cycle of regret and worry. We stop living in what was or what if, and begin to truly live. This simple presence, this shift in awareness, is what begins to dissolve unnecessary suffering. But what if there's more to peace than simply being present? What if there are things we're holding on to? Habits, thoughts, emotions, relationships that continue to weigh us down. This brings us to the next step on our journey: renunciation, the art of letting go. The path of renunciation. If non-attachment teaches us to hold life with open hands, and mindfulness helps us experience the present fully, then renunciation is the conscious act of releasing what no longer serves us, so that we may walk with greater lightness, purpose, and freedom. In the Western world, the word renunciation often carries a heavy tone. It may conjure images of monks giving up all their possessions, or people abandoning everyday comforts to live in isolation. But in Buddhism, renunciation is not about punishment, denial, or rejection of life. It's about liberation. It's the deep, intentional decision to put down what burdens the heart. It's not about losing something, but about choosing clarity over clutter, peace over pain, and purpose over attachment. Why is letting go so difficult? We hold on to many things: possessions, roles, beliefs, relationships, often without realizing they are causing us harm. Why? Because we associate them with comfort, identity, or security. We may cling to material possessions, believing they give us worth. We stay in toxic relationships, fearing loneliness more than pain. We replay old grudges, hoping to rewrite the past. We resist necessary change because the unknown feels uncertain. But Buddhism gently reminds us, clinging is the root of suffering. And when we attach ourselves to anything impermanent, which includes nearly everything, we inevitably suffer when it changes, fades, or disappears. Renunciation is not about rejecting the world. It's about recognizing, with wisdom, what is no longer helping us grow and allowing it to fall away. Renunciation in everyday life. Renunciation isn't just for monks in robes or ascetics in retreat. It's a practice we can all live, right here in our ordinary lives. It might look like letting go of material excess. Do we really need everything we accumulate? Simplifying creates room for what truly matters. Releasing unhealthy attachments. Relationships built on control, dependency, or unresolved wounds often keep us stuck. Letting go doesn't mean we stop caring. It means we care in a way that liberates, not confines. Dropping rigid expectations. Life rarely unfolds exactly as we planned. When we release the need for control, we open ourselves to beauty we hadn't imagined. Forgiving and moving forward. Holding on to resentment is like gripping a burning coal. It harms only the one who clings. Letting go of old pain is choosing peace. Every act of renunciation is a quiet act of courage. Each time we release something we no longer need, we create space for something new, something lighter, clearer, more aligned with who we're becoming. The joy of simplicity. Many great spiritual teachers speak of the quiet joy that arises when we simplify our lives. The less we carry, physically, emotionally, mentally, the more we feel grounded, present, and free. Imagine walking through life with fewer bags in your hands. You move more easily, you breathe more deeply, you notice more beauty. And as we move forward, we'll explore how this sense of inner lightness leads to a deeper form of clarity, one rooted not in intellect, but in awakened insight. As we release what no longer serves us, we begin to feel lighter, freer, not just in our bodies, but in our hearts and minds. Letting go isn't about loss. It's about returning to something more essential, more nourishing, more real. Think for a moment about the times when you felt most at peace. Were they during moments of striving, accumulating, achieving? Or were they moments of stillness, simplicity, and quiet presence? A soft morning light and a warm cup of tea. A deep, unhurried conversation with someone who sees you. A pause beneath the sun, feeling its warmth on your skin. Moments like these remind us that peace is not found in grasping. It's found in being. Renunciation, then, is not about turning away from the world. It's about turning toward what truly matters, unburdened by attachment. It's not a withdrawal from life, but a more spacious and compassionate engagement with it. Let it be, and the wisdom of letting go. And when the night is cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. This tender line from Let It Be reminds us that even in our darkest moments, light is still available, if only we stop resisting. The song doesn't urge us to control or grasp or demand, it simply encourages us to release. This is the essence of renunciation. We don't need to force life into our shape. We can trust, we can let go, and we can allow life to unfold. True renunciation is not about giving up. It's about giving ourselves over to the natural flow of life. It is the quiet courage to love without clinging, act without obsession, and dream without fear. It's about walking through life with an open heart and a mind that's no longer weighed down by unnecessary striving. Integrating Let It Be into daily life. So how do we make this more than just an idea? How do we live it daily? Over the course of this journey, we've explored powerful teachings: suffering, impermanence, non-attachment, patience, mindfulness, renunciation. But knowledge alone is not enough. True transformation comes when we live what we've learned. Letting go is not something we only do in meditation or in times of crisis. It is something we practice, moment by moment, in the middle of everyday life. Whether we're cooking a meal, having a difficult conversation, or facing a sudden change, each moment offers a new opportunity to let go. When plans shift, we soften our grip and adapt. When expectations aren't met, we accept what is instead of resisting what isn't. When strong emotions arise, we observe them rather than be swept away by them. When we're in conflict, we pause before reacting and choose wisdom over impulse. Mindfulness is the bridge that helps us bring these teachings into real life. By paying attention with kindness, we make room for peace, even when the world feels uncertain. Letting go is not giving up. Some may misunderstand let it be as a passive way of living, but letting go doesn't mean giving up. It doesn't mean we stop loving, working, or dreaming. It means we do all these things with freedom. We love, but we don't possess. We work, but we're not consumed. We pursue our goals, but we're not paralyzed by fear. This is balance. This is wisdom. This is what allows us to live with full presence and still be at peace, no matter what happens. Trusting the flow of life. When we resist life, we suffer. But when we trust it, even in uncertainty, we begin to experience a freedom that no external condition can give us. This is the final message of Let It Be and of Buddhist wisdom itself. We don't need to control everything. Life unfolds in its own way, in its own time. Our job is not to force it, but to flow with it. When we release the need to be certain, to be perfect, to always know what comes next, we make space for a deeper peace. A peace that isn't shaken by circumstances. A peace that's always been waiting within us. Let it be. More than a song, a way of life. The Beatles may not have written Let It Be as a Buddhist hymn, but its message is universal. It reminds us that in the midst of challenge or confusion, peace is always available if we are willing to let go. Whisper words of wisdom. Let it be. That quiet whisper lives within each of us, guiding us toward a life of awareness, compassion, and trust. The choice is always ours. We can resist, or we can let it be. Thank you for walking this journey with us into Buddhist wisdom and the art of letting go. If this message has touched you, we invite you to subscribe to our channel, Buddhism Seeds, for more mindful reflections and practices. Like this video if it resonated with you, and share in the comments. How do you practice letting go in your own life? Let's keep this conversation alive, together. And remember, true peace is not found in control. It's found in trust. Let it be.